Hey everybody, Eric Aumen with Aumen Creative here, and I wanted to share one of the slides on the webinar that I'm working on because I keep hearing over and over some of the same challenges that healers and wellness practitioners are facing as I'm reaching out and asking them what they're having trouble with. And it's educating their clients and putting themselves out there. So an example I'll use, because I've talked to a lot of Reiki masters and Reiki practitioners, is people trying to explain like what it is. And this is a really common problem. And the reason it's a problem is because you're a healer, you're a wellness practitioner, and although you tell stories in your life all the time, it might not be your expertise. And I'm going to show you just really quick how to tell stories that will actually educate people, but more importantly, get them excited, because that's the problem. You're doing an okay job educating people, at least on the features, but features and benefits don't matter until they are hooked, until they're excited, until you have them. And I also want to say that really the philosophy we need to look at here, because a lot of people are maybe uncomfortable marketing, but all that we're doing, and you can see I have down here in the bottom, raise your hand by the call to action, because all that we're doing is we're effectively communicating in a way that says, hey, you over there, person who is looking to experience this transformation from where you are to a better version of yourself, or maybe a more whole version of yourself. Here I am. I'm the one who can help you get there. Because if we don't ever communicate that effectively, we're just keeping this secret, this gift to ourselves, and we're not offering it to these people who are just waiting for us. Because there really are people waiting for your exact flavor of whatever it is you offer. So it's our job and our duty and our mission to raise our hand and say, here I am. So that's what I'm going to do with this one story. And this is only one story type here. And the idea of it is, imagine Reiki, for example. We'll keep talking about Reiki. If you were to tell somebody, well, Reiki is, Rei means spiritually guided, and Ki is like Chi, but it's in Japan, and, it's spiritually guided, universal energy, life force energy, and it goes to where it needs to go to heal you. Well, it sounds cool, and I know that's a very short description of what Reiki is, just using this as an example. But it's kind of heady. Somebody has to take that and kind of cross-check it against where they are spiritually and where they are and everything like that, versus telling them a story. And the story could be something like this. And I'll use my own story for example, because I've had this experience. So, in my life, I was a new dad, I was a new husband, and I was the sole financial provider for my family. And there was just, I really, really, really wanted my wife to be able to stay home with the kids. And she really wanted to do that too. And, I felt like I had a lot of pressure. I came from a long line. I was the oldest son, from the oldest son. I had a long line of, manly men in my family. I used to work in a manly job, construction, or in a brick factory and all these things. And there was a lot of pressure on me to perform. And what happened was I couldn't do it. I couldn't perform. And the more I got in my head and stressed, the less I performed, and things just were not going well for me. And my wife had been seeing a Reiki practitioner for quite a while, and I went to see her. And when I went to see her, we talked a little bit, and right away I could feel, I wasn't that in touch with myself at the time. I was just kind of starting on that journey. I'd been meditating for maybe a year before that. But right away I could feel something special was happening just as soon as I met with her. And I got on the table and she started giving me the treatment, and I could feel energy moving in my body for really the first time in my life. And after the treatment was done, for the first time ever, I felt what it felt like to be clear. Like I had never felt that before. And it was an amazing feeling because now I knew, oh, before now I was walking around loaded up with other people's energy, and I was just like a sponge soaking up situational energy and other people's emotions and all these different things, and not clearing my, excuse me, not clearing my own emotions. Now I know that there's a better feeling. There's a feeling of that's more pure. That's a more neutral place, and from here I can create a version of my life that is in alignment with what I want. So I knew after that that Reiki was going to play a big role in my life. So do you see the difference there? One takes a little more time, and I could have cleaned that up, but I just made it up here. I didn't make it up. That actually was my experience, but I just talked my way through the story. And the idea is that now that you, as somebody who has never had Reiki before, now that you, and we're just pretending because probably you have, or maybe you're a Reiki master, but as your potential client who you want to educate, now they might be able to relate to the experience of all this pressure and all these feelings and having to perform but not being able to. You want to share your truth, but oftentimes I find that your perfect clients are people who are yet to overcome something you already have. So that's why you're the one who's going to raise your hand for them, because you know exactly how to get them across that gap through that transformation. So now that you have their attention, you told them what life was like before. You talked about what happened that changed everything. How have you changed? You talked about that. Now we want to talk about what are you offering? Why? This should say why. It says what? Why are you offering this as a product or service? So I could say, I use Reiki now when I'm a Reiki master. I became a Reiki master, and I use it when I work with my clients because it helps bring in a spiritual guidance and an energy to charge the work that we're doing with my consulting work, with my marketing work, and with my journeying work. And it really helps guide things in a way that I couldn't. And I know that I'm able to deliver a much more powerful outcome and much more effectively help bring clarity to my clients and help accelerate their mission when I work with Reiki. So that's why I offer it. So then has it worked for others? This would be a good time to bring in a case study. One of my other clients who works with Reiki has experienced X, Y, and Z or whatever. This is a good time to bring that in. Or if you have testimonials, perfect for right there. What happens if you do nothing? This is a good time to say, and in group work, I do a lot of group work and shadow work facilitating. And one of the great things, techniques that we use, and I know life coaches use this technique as well, is what's the best and what's the worst that could happen. And that official name is escaping me. But if somebody's kind of stuck between, should I do this or should I do that? We can just walk through, well, what's the absolute worst that would happen on this one? What's the absolute worst that happens this way? What's the best that could happen here? What's the best that could happen there? You're helping them see if you do nothing, if you keep on going like you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're currently experiencing. And how much longer are you willing to keep doing that before you try something different? So however that fits for you, it's an important piece to remind people of, because sometimes people come up with reasons why they can't do something. The ego is really good at doing that to protect us from doing something new. So it's our jobs, as part of that raising the hand process, we have to help them do their work. And we do that by shining a mirror up and saying, hey, if you're unwilling to do anything, that's okay. And we will still be here for you if and when you are. But how much longer are you willing to do nothing? Is that working for you? And the last thing we have to do is give a call to action. And that is officially like, hey, here I am. And that's just telling them, like, if you're into this idea of trying Reiki and you want to see if it can really help get you unstuck and start accelerating things for you in your life, go to my website, click on this button, and I'm going to give you, a special package or nothing, or just contact me or whatever your call to action is. Just make it easy. Tell them what to do if they're excited to do it. And that's it. But you can't start with the features and benefits because when you first learned about Reiki, or whatever your transformation was and that you're offering, you looked up probably tons about it and started researching and doing it after you had your aha moment, after you realized, oh, this is it. So you have to help facilitate that through story. And that's what we're trying to do here. So I hope that's helpful for you. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments, send me a direct message. I would love to help you out with this. This is really powerful stuff, and this is going to be a part of a webinar that I'm working on. But I was excited to share this because I keep talking to people who are having a tough time with educating their clients and getting them to understand. And the thing is, it's less about getting them to fully understand and more about telling them the story so that if it resonates with them, they're going to know, because they'll be able to see themselves in your story if it's right for them. If it's not right for them, or you're not the right facilitator for that experience, which is also fine, it won't resonate, and that's fine too. But this story format is a way for you to raise your hand and say, here I am. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that helps you accelerate things in your own business, and have an awesome day.